Ludwig van Beethoven, 1770 to 1827, was a German composer and pianist whose works are among the most performed classical music worldwide. He is considered one of the most important figures in the history of Western music, bridging the classical and romantic eras. His life was marked by both triumph and tragedy, with his prodigious talent propelling him to fame, while his increasing deafness brought about profound personal struggles. Despite his disability, Beethoven composed some of the most iconic symphonies, sonatas, and concertos, leaving an indelible mark on music and culture. Early life, 1770 to 1792. Beethoven was born on December 17, 1770, in Bonn, a city in the Holy Roman Empire, now part of Germany. He was the second of 7 children, though only 2 of his brothers, Caspar Anton Karl and Nikolaus Johann, survived infancy. His family was musically inclined. His father, Johann van Beethoven, was a singer in the chapel of the Elector of Cologne and a mediocre musician. His mother, Maria Magdalena Keverich, came from a family of court musicians. Johann, recognizing his son's musical potential, attempted to promote Ludwig as a child prodigy, in the mold of Mozart, but Beethoven did not achieve the same immediate fame. Beethoven's early training was strict and harsh, with his father often forcing him to practice for hours. His father's alcoholism and erratic behavior caused significant strain within the family, and Beethoven often assumed the role of caretaker for his younger brothers. Despite the turbulent environment at home, Beethoven showed exceptional musical talent at a young age. He received lessons from local musicians and began playing the organ at the court chapel as a teenager. By the age of 12, he published his first work, a set of variations for piano. Vienna and musical apprenticeship, 1792 to 1802. In 1792, Beethoven moved to Vienna, then the capital of the Habsburg Empire and the center of European music. Vienna was the city of composers like Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart and Joseph Haydn, both of whom Beethoven admired. Although Beethoven sought to study with Mozart, Mozart died in 1791 before Beethoven arrived. Instead, Beethoven studied with Haydn, who was highly regarded as the greatest living composer of the time. However, the relationship between Haydn and Beethoven was strained, as Beethoven often felt that Haydn's teaching style did not address his needs. During his early years in Vienna, Beethoven established himself as a virtuoso pianist, gaining favor with the city's aristocratic patrons. His compositions from this period were primarily piano sonatas and chamber music. His works were influenced by the classical style of Haydn and Mozart, but already exhibited a unique, bold voice that would later characterize the Romantic period. His early compositions, such as the piano sonatas, Op. 2, demonstrated his technical skill and innovative approach to harmony and form. The onset of deafness, 1798 to 1802, Beethoven's personal life took a dramatic turn in the late 1790s when he began to lose his hearing. By 1798, at the age of 28, he experienced the first signs of tinnitus, a ringing in his ears, which worsened over time. By 1802, his hearing had deteriorated significantly, and he could no longer perform or conduct with the same ease. The onset of deafness was a crushing blow to Beethoven, whose livelihood and identity were so closely tied to music. Beethoven's struggles with his hearing are well documented, particularly in his letters and the famous Heiligenstadt Testament of 1802. In this unsent letter addressed to his brothers, Beethoven expressed his despair and suicidal thoughts due to his deafness, but also resolved to continue composing. The Heiligenstadt Testament is a critical document, revealing Beethoven's inner turmoil and his determination to overcome adversity through his art. It marks a turning point in his life, as he shifted from a pianist-composer to focusing almost exclusively on composition. The heroic period, 1802 to 1812, after coming to terms with his deafness, Beethoven entered what is often referred to as his heroic period, during which he composed some of his most iconic and revolutionary works. This period is characterized by large-scale compositions that embodied the spirit of human struggle and triumph, reflecting Beethoven's own life. One of the defining works of this period is his Third Symphony, the Eroica, 1803, originally dedicated to Napoleon Bonaparte, whom Beethoven admired for his democratic ideals. However, when Napoleon declared himself Emperor of France in 1804, Beethoven famously tore up the dedication page in disgust. The Eroica is widely considered one of the most important symphonies in Western music history, representing a departure from the classical style of Mozart and Haydn and laying the groundwork for the Romantic era. Other significant compositions from this period include the Fifth Symphony, 1808, known for its iconic four-note opening motif, and the Piano Concerto No. 5, Emperor, 1809, a grand and majestic work that showcases Beethoven's mastery of the piano concerto form. His Violin Concerto, 1806, Appassionata Sonata, 1805, and Kreutzer Sonata, 1803, for violin and piano also belong to this period. Personal struggles in the late period, 1812 to 1827. By 1812, Beethoven's hearing had deteriorated to the point that he was almost completely deaf. His personal life was marked by loneliness, illness, and family troubles, particularly his complicated relationship with his nephew Karl. After the death of his brother Caspar in 1815, Beethoven fought for custody of Karl, engaging in a bitter legal battle with Karl's mother, whom Beethoven despised. The legal disputes and Karl's eventual troubled behavior caused Beethoven immense stress and sorrow. Despite his personal struggles, Beethoven entered a late period of composition, producing works of profound depth, complexity, and innovation. These later works are often characterized by their introspective nature and exploration of new musical forms and techniques. Perhaps the most famous composition from this period is the Ninth Symphony, 1824, which features the Ode to Joy, a choral finale based on Friedrich Schiller's poem celebrating brotherhood and unity. The Ninth Symphony is one of Beethoven's crowning achievements and remains one of the most celebrated works in the classical canon. Other notable works from this period include his Missa Solemnis, 1823, a monumental mass setting, and his late string quartets, particularly Op. 131 and Op. 132, which are considered some of the greatest achievements in the genre. These quartets, with their intricate structures and emotional depth, would influence composers like Brahms and Schubert. Death and legacy. Beethoven died on March 26, 1827, in Vienna after a long illness. His funeral procession was attended by an estimated 20,000 people, reflecting his status as a cultural icon. Beethoven's music had a profound influence on subsequent generations of composers, and he is often regarded as the father of Romanticism in music. His innovations in form, harmony, and expression set the stage for later composers like Schubert, Mendelssohn, Brahms, Wagner, and Mahler. Beethoven's legacy extends far beyond the world of classical music. His image as the tortured, genius artist has become a symbol of human resilience and creativity in the face of adversity. His works, especially the Ninth Symphony, have been adopted for various political and social movements, symbolizing freedom, unity, and the triumph of the human spirit. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel